So you don't need permission to quit your job. But in this video, I am going to go through with you things to think about and what you do need before you quit your job. And my name is Gavin. If you haven't come across me before, this is called the second chapter. It's for people who are middle-aged, who feel like me, to where they know more is possible. They feel stuck. They're in the rat race and they want a way out responsibly. That's the big thing. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you, I do on this channel, is my process I'm going through and how I am having my corporate escape plan, so to speak, and what's been working for me, what I'm struggling with, and hopefully it's helpful to a lot of other people out there. So I am sitting in a parking lot right now, working today. I drive a lot. And this is a normal day, probably like you, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I do what I have to do today. And I'm good at it. And I make pretty good money. And that's part of the problem, right? Which you can relate to possibly. So when we start considering, when we start pondering leaving our job, what happens? Our mind starts saying, well, what happens? How are you going to make your money? What would happen to your lifestyle? Is it possible? What if you fail? You're going to lose your house. And all these things that society wants us to get stuck in. That's kind of why we're here, right? We bought the American dream. We went to school. We got married. We had kids. We found a job and possibly worked our way up after all these years with some knowledge and making pretty good money. But then it's like, it's not fun what we do. It's not fulfilling. It's not meaningful. Kind of sucks in a lot of ways. For me, it's very monotonous. I do the same thing, say the same thing every single day. Just left an appointment, said the same exact thing. And I'm in sales, and then there's a lot of rejection. They said no. Happens. It's all good. But it's frustrating. And I think when we start looking for permission, especially from other people, that's kind of what's keeping us stuck. Is like, yeah, but you need this, you need that. And it just comes back to fear. So first, I want to give you permission that you don't need anybody else's permission. This game of life has always been about you, how you think, and what you think is possible. And quite frankly, I have to say this to myself every day. The other reason I'm here is because I keep making the same decisions that bring me here, and that I don't think something else is possible. And therefore, in the past, up until now, I didn't take different steps for a different solution, for a different result. And I actually feel, even though I make pretty good money, that the kind of money I do make is limiting, and I'm just fulfilling somebody else's dream. I'm just making somebody else money. And I'm highly skilled. I'm highly qualified, likely just like you. And so why would we settle for making somebody else's dream come true when our dream is possible? And I've had to ask myself that, and I'll ask yourself that. But you have to give yourself first permission to know that this is all about you and what you want for your life. I have a kid in college, a junior. My son is going to be in college next year. My oldest daughter just graduated from college. I have college loans. And I want to, I was listening to these other YouTube channels, just seeing what's out there, and very good, not critiquing, but one guy was like in his mid-30s and was kind of bragging about how he left his job. Never, I've watched multiple videos, has he ever mentioned anything about a wife or kids. Well, wow, impressive. You left your job on your own. No. And then the other person was retired earlier. I think they're 64 now, but they retired when they were 60. But again, their kids and that lifestyle are gone. And I guess when you record in a parking lot, you have interesting people come up and start looking into your recordings. You just go away. But um, so it's different. Like when the kids are gone, it's just you. When it's just you when you're younger, it's just you. But listen, I understand if you have a wife and you have kids and you've provided them a lifestyle, it is terrifying to think, I'm going to take that away from them. What if you do fail? What if like they didn't ask for any of that? Just because you might be going through some kind of midlife crisis, like, yeah, you kind of set it up for that. So for me, it's a non-negotiable. When and doing it right now, finding my way out, their lifestyle is not going to change. And I don't want my wife to worry. And she's like, like a teacher, and she loves her life. And it's not like we have anything over the top, but yeah, I don't want to go backwards. And I'm honest about that. If that keeps me stuck, so be it. Right. But that's the limiting game, is I don't think it has to be that way. I think there's a way out and even have a better lifestyle. And when I say better lifestyle, just the freedom and still have money and can pay the bills. And I understand chasing money is not the answer, 100%. But I also feel like people are willing to make these sacrifices that alone are no big deal. But for me, that's a big deal right now. So moving on. Here's the permission that you really need, that you will make the decision that you feel this way and you honor that. You need to hear that, is to really give yourself permission to feel it, to understand you're not happy and that you want something different. If you don't acknowledge that, nothing's ever going to change. You're going to just tell yourself every day everything's fine and you can make it to retirement and hope you don't just die with a heart attack someday. That sounds blunt, but that's the truth. But once you acknowledge it, then you have to do something about it. So now that you've given yourself permission, what do you need? You need a plan. You need a way out, and a way out that makes sense responsibly. I do not recommend, I've done this 3 times. I just did a video about this and, I'll link it. I've quit my job 3 times in a row. Not in a row, but 3 times over the last like 30 years. And each time I did that without having something else set up, it was a disaster. I don't recommend that. So don't do that. You've got to have something ready to go to either replace it, or what I'm doing is creating like a side hustle that I can grow, that at a certain point, it may not have to be even, but that I've proven to myself that I can pay my bills and it's not going to be like this, oh shit, and what have I done? And then I would just want to go back or go, find my safety zone again. That I'm creating something that is sustainable and that I can continue on that path. So you need that plan of what that looks like, how you can, make money and support yourself. And for me, I'm an entrepreneur. It's so hard to work for somebody else and like not agree with choices they're making, dealing with like politics, not making as much money as I think that I'm worth, and just all the crap that comes with that. You know what I'm talking about. And if you're watching this channel, I would hope that you would have aspirations to take your expertise and to take your knowledge and to do something with it. You're an asset. You have learned so much. And whatever that asset is, whether it's been in your past job or your passions or your interests, you have something packageable that you can make money off of. The problem is you don't believe it and you don't know how. And that's, I don't want to just come on here and give these rah-rah speeches and say, you can do it. And, oh, look at me, look what I'm doing. Like, I want to give you answers. And I am creating something. It's called the Corporate Escape Lab, where all the objections that I have, all the fears I have, I'm creating a system to help other people and myself overcome those objections and those fears. And I haven't quite, right today, I haven't quite launched it yet fully. I'm going to be getting a beta group going here soon. You can go to corporateescapelab.com and check it out and actually do a quick assessment that will tell you how ready you are. Because if you're not ready, like, don't do this. Like, you have to like dread, your days. You have to be in pain. You have to be extremely frustrated. You have to be ready because there's no way around it. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna deal with shit. You're going to, like, every day I'm like, oh my gosh, like, deal with fear and your stuff. But if you're ready, you're willing and you will deal with it and you will take the steps and you will come up with a plan and you will find a way. And that's what I want to help people do, is find a way. So I haven't left yet. I'm building this right now and on the side, exactly like what I'm recommending other people to do. And it's not completed yet, but it's enough to put out there and kind of see the viability and start, sharing with it. So I just want you to know, you don't need permission from anybody else to honor what you really feel. You don't, I know we're like husbands and parents and fathers and stuff, but what you owe is to take care of yourself and to set an example for your family of what's possible and that they don't have to get stuck like you did, that what's within them, it's all possible. This is a world of possibility. And I'm using AI. Like, I highly recommend it with you. You're either going to get on the AI board or you're going to get left behind. But I'm using AI to, really leverage myself and time and take my expertise. And that's what I'm helping other people do too. So you need to come up with a plan. You need to acknowledge that you're ready to go. You need to be willing. Don't tell anybody. You don't need to tell anybody. Like, you don't even need to tell your spouse. You need to tell yourself. You need to be honest with yourself and then find help. Maybe another YouTube channel. Maybe, something you've always wanted to pursue or that passion. Go look up things on how you can do that. If you've always wanted to kind of like start your own business and take your expertise and what you know and kind of get into the AI world on how to do that, this is like the perfect place for you, the corporateescapelab.com. Check it out. And I'm looking forward to being on this journey with people, sharing it, the ups, the downs. And there are a lot of downs, like, oh my gosh, just some days like, oh, it's just easier. Like, I try to tell myself it's not that bad. Like, whatever, you make good money, just you're making a big deal of this. But eventually it just catches up to you and you're just like, no more. This is bullshit. Why am I going with this story? So much more is possible. I can be free and make money too. And I 100% believe that. So if this sounds up your alley, subscribe, like this. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? Have you given yourself permission? Are you willing to come up with a plan? And if both of those things sound good to you, like, go check out that assessment. It's pretty cool. You'll be surprised at like what's out there. I was surprised. I created a meditation app for myself. And I was like, holy cow, like, if I can do this, anybody can do this. We can do this, right? So let's do it together. I'll go check out my other videos and I'll talk to you again. Much love. Bye-bye.